expect so much global interest in two guys sitting on a sidewalk waiting for a movie. But that's what we're getting. So a typical day usually starts off at about 3 in the morning with media calling, wanting interviews, and the radio calling, and it just gets kind of out of hand sometimes. And then once that settles down around 9 a.m., we're usually just out here, and a lot of passers-by want to know what's going on. You know, what are you doing? There's a lot of regulars because we have the bus stop right here, so a lot of people going to work, checking in on us, and fine folks bring us coffee or whatever in the morning. It's really nice. And then usually in the afternoon I'll go and make sure that the website gets updated, and we collect emails, and people stop by, friends come by, family comes by, and I can remember leaving the theater and walking down the sidewalk. It's nighttime, and my dad looks at me and goes, "Did you enjoy that?" And I said, "Yeah, that was great." And my dad's reaction back was, "Good, because that's the last movie you're ever going to see." And I didn't understand it at the time. God, I'm only, 6 years old. So, what does that mean? I don't know. And I thought I was being punished. What ended up happening is my parents started going to a new church, and the pastor's belief was that movies were bad. Movies are a tool of the devil, so you shouldn't go to movies anymore. And because Star Wars deals a lot with many religious aspects, all kind of intertwined with each other. It's not really a good religious experience to go to. So my parents started this new rule in the house that no more movies. So I ended up missing Empire Strikes Back in the theater, and I was allowed to read the book though, all the way up until 8th grade when Jedi came out, and I still wasn't allowed to go to movies. And I ended up sneaking to see Jedi the day of my 8th grade graduation, and myself and a friend. It was like this big secretive. We're doing something so bad, by going to see Return of the Jedi. And I just more or less left Jedi. Basically, I guess I started my rebellion age, because I basically left Jedi and I told my mom and dad, I like movies and I'm going to continue to go to them, and got in big trouble. But originally it was going to be a 2-year event in which we were going to have a trailer and kind of camp out in it and try to raise some sponsorship funds and do a competition type of a thing. That at the time, .com guy was rather popular, and we were going to do this little competition thing. But this was really something that Jeff and a friend of ours, Phil, spearheaded and pieced together. And when they presented it to me, I was just like, "You guys are crazy, man." But I like it. I thought it was a cool idea.
And do it really low-key, bare bones, to where, okay, there is no trailer, there is no satellite uplink, there is no webcam. It's just myself, a camera, and some top ramen. Then I pitched it to John, and John said, "Well, let's make it a little bit better than top ramen, sitting on the sidewalk. Let's make it a little bit more respectable and get some wireless internet down here." And John sort of pulled together, some corporate sponsors to get us the wireless internet, so we could do a little bit more online interaction than just interaction with people walking by. So now we're getting sort of the best of both worlds, and John said, "Okay, I'll do it." And now here we are. We're both doing it. So I sort of came up with the idea, but John really kind of gave it a good solid base.
We started getting a lot of phone calls from the BBC, and I was just like, interesting. And then next thing you know, Ireland was calling, and then Australia was calling, and then next thing you know, the Today Show was out here setting up, and CNN.
Yeah.
It was amazing though that we talked about this. CNN had interest in covering this, but stations like
Access Hollywood
and ETV. But CNN, it's like, well, what's up with that? That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I think it's just the people I've met, like a lot of great support, a lot of great friends that I'll continue to have relationships after this whole event. So I think that's the best part, is the people. The people are the best and they're worst. They're kind of wrapped into one. So got to take the good with the bad.
I just think it's interesting, all the interest in this. I mean, again, as I mentioned before, okay, two guys sitting on a sidewalk waiting for a movie has generated so much attention that I just can't believe it. And we've seen both aspects from the good and the bad. There's been a complete 180-degree difference between emails saying you guys are losers and need to be wiped off the face of the earth to I think what you're doing is cool and I wish I could join you guys. Do you need help or support in any way? The positive has far outweighed the negative, but it amazes me how many people have a lot of inner hatred that they feel they need to voice out on us. Just two guys not harming anyone, sitting in on the sidewalk waiting for a movie, trying to see about maybe raising some money for some kids and working on an art project. I don't understand why that's such a bad thing in life.
I was spat on last night. That was probably the lowest point where someone actually spitting on me, where it's just like I've never been spat on before in my life. So that was pretty bad. It was just like to have so much disdain that you'd actually spit. So, but other than that, most people have been super friendly and super nice.
I want to try to break the stereotype of Star Wars fans being this geeky mentality type of a thing. Obviously it doesn't require 4.5 months to sit out here to wait for tickets. There's got to be another reason. It amazes me how many people don't think along that same line. They just think you're some whacked out individual that's the super geek. And it's amazing when both Jeff and myself talk to different people, especially in radio and that, they comment about, you don't sound like this, or they'll see our picture and they're like, you don't look like a super geek, what's up with that? And they explain to them why you're doing this and the art project behind it and the charitable end to this whole thing, and they're just like, oh, that's really cool. And a lot of DJs will actually hang up on you simply because they just want to make fun of you because they think you're a super geek. And when they discover that you're not, they're just like, oh, wow, I had the wrong impression. Goodbye. So that's one of the big things. I just want to break that stereotype because that's not really it. I mean, there are your few, but for the most part, Star Wars fans are pretty well-to-do people. They're lawyers, they're doctors, they're family members, they're house owners or business owners.